Jai Hind dosto, this is Ananya, your master teacher at Vedantu for social science. How are you all? I hope you guys are taking very good care of yourself. So guys, what are we going to do today? Today I'm going to start the very first chapter of your economics and that is going to be development. In this particular video, I'm going to give you an introduction of whatever things we are going to understand in this entire chapter. And in the coming sessions, whatever I'm going to teach you with respect to this chapter, I'm going to give you a brief idea. And one most important thing, make sure that you please take out your notebooks because I'm going to give you the explanation of some important terms. And I want you guys to make a note of all those important terms. Okay? Chalo, let's get started, guys. Let's see what are we going to do today. Now, guys, there is a very simple term, development. Let's see, guys, what is development? Guys, development means what? It is a process of becoming better. Simple, right? What is development? It is a process of becoming better. Let's say if there is a farmer or if there is a peasant who earns rupees 100 a day, who used to earn rupees 100 a day, and now he is earning 120 rupees a day. So can you say that is development becoming better? So what is development? That is a process of becoming better is known as development. So guys, in a similar way, there are some examples which I have given to you. You can see on the screen. Like if you look at the very first one, something is written over here. Andhra Pradesh literacy rate lower than the national average. Is it development? Andhra Pradesh literacy rate means the people who are literate, the people who are educated, that is the lowest as compared to the national average. Is it development? I don't think so. Panchkula, which is in Punjab, Panchkula gets Metropolitan Development Authority. They got the green signal that they can develop, they can start the construction of metropolitan development. Okay, so from this example, we come to know that uh, it is not developing. Panchkula is, as a city is not developing. So can you say this is development? The process of becoming better. Exactly. So guys, understand this part, the examples which are given on your screen and the example which I gave you, like a farmer who used to earn rupees 100 a day, now the farmer is earning 120 rupees a day. So that is development. So guys, in simple language, if I tell you what is development, that is a process of becoming better. All right, great. And guys, without any conjuicy, make sure that you guys are hitting the like button. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, make sure that you guys are subscribing to our channel also. It is absolutely free. Okay? Chalo. So let me tell you guys what are we going to learn in this entire chapter. In this entire chapter, I'm going to teach you guys about what development promises, like different people, different goals. I'm going to tell you guys about national development, how to compare different countries or states, income and other criteria, the public facilities which are provided by the government, why they are provided, and the sustainability of development. Guys, these are some of the topics which we are going to deal in this entire chapter. Like today in this session, I'm going to give you a brief idea about all these things. So make sure that you guys take out your notebooks because I'm going to give you the meaning of some important terms. So write down today's date, write down the name of the chapter, and write down the heading as important terms. All right? Chalo. Now, guys, what is development? I'm going to read this and I'll make this statement very simple for everyone. What is development? Development is a comprehensive term which includes when the per capita income of a person increases. Now, guys, there is a term per capita income. What is per capita income? Annual per person income. Annual in 1 year on an average. How much person is earning in a particular country, that is known as per capita income. At the end of the session, I'm going to give you a detailed explanation about what is per capita income. But as of now, try to understand what is per capita income. Annual per person income. Okay, great. So what is development? Development is like wherein it includes when the per capita income of the people increases, when there is an improvement in the living standard of the people. Now, why, guys, what is the meaning of improvement in the living standard of the people? Guys, standard of living means when the quality of the life improves. Like if I give you one example of, let's say, uh, I have got a bike. In near future, I purchase a car. So my standard of living is increasing. I hope you guys are understanding. So what is development? When there is a rise in the per capita income of the people living in a country, when there is an improvement in the living standard of the people, when the poverty reduces, when the illiteracy reduces, and when the literacy level increases, when the crime rate reduces, and all these things are associated with development. So guys, what is development? Development is a process of becoming better. As simple as that. All right. Great. So I want you guys to make a note of everything. Please pause the video and make a note of everything. All right. Cool. Guys, now what is BMI? Body Mass Index. And one more thing, students, let me tell you, in this session, I'm going to give you the meaning of all these terms, but the detailed explanation is going to be followed in the coming sessions. All right. So please do not get confused and try to attend this session at the till the end. Now, guys, what is body mass index? It is a measure of body fat based on the height and weight of a person. It is a measure of body fat based on the height and weight of a person. That is BMI. In simple sense, what is BMI, guys? You are given some number, like let's take an example 18.5 to let's say 25. So how it is calculated, obviously in the coming sessions, I will be telling you how this BMI is calculated. Guys, whatever number you get, if you get a number after calculating your BMI, if you get a number of less than 18.5, then you are actually underweight. If you get a number above 25, then you are overweight. And it is considered to be as ideal weight if it is between 18.5 and 25. Okay, so in my coming sessions, I will be explaining you how this BMI is calculated. All right, don't worry. So in simple sense, try to understand in this session what is BMI. It is a measure of body fat which is based on the height and the weight of a person. That is what is BMI is. All right, make a note of this. Next, what are developing nations? These are the countries in which the income rises along with the standard of the living of the people. So when the national income increases, when the standard of the living of the people increases, those countries are considered as developing nations. Now, my dear students, I have given you a world map in which the areas which are shaded in orange, those countries are known as developing countries. Like you can see India also. All right. And the countries which are shaded in blue, those are highly developed nations. All right, so basically you can take an example of India as a developing nation. Okay, just for the sake of example, India. Next one, what are underdeveloped countries? A country which does not have a high income and the standard of living is also very low. Quality of life. When the standard of living is also very low and when the income of a country is also very less, those countries are considered as underdeveloped countries. Guys, there are many countries in Asia and Africa which comes under the category of underdeveloped nations. If I give you one such example is Bangladesh. All right. So Bangladesh can be taken as an example of underdeveloped country. So the countries whose national income is less and the standard of the living is also very low, those countries are included in underdeveloped countries. All right. Cool. Next, a very simple term. Economic activities. The activities through which a person earns money. Simple. The activities through which a person earns money. Those activities comes under economic activities. Let me give you one simple example. I am doing an activity as of now. What? I am giving you education. Okay? I am explaining you a topic of development. So this is an activity which is also associated with economic activity. Do you know how? I'm working with Vedantu, right? So the activity which I am performing, I am paid for such activities. So the activities, this is just an example, right? Okay. So the activities through which a person earns money, those activities are considered as economic activities. All right. Economic development. So it's a very big statement. I will make it very, very simple. Let's see, guys, what is economic development? It is a process whereby the national income and the per capita income of a country increases. It is a what is economic development of the country? Economic development is associated with when the national income of a country increases, when the per capita income of the people increases, along with when the number of people living in the country, okay, when the poverty falls, okay, when the people who are considered as poor, when the number of people who are poor reduces, when there is more employment opportunity which is created for the people, when the standard of the living increases, all these things collectively gives rise to economic development of the nation. So my dear students, what is economic development? When the national income increases, when the per capita income improves, when the poverty reduces, when the people are getting job opportunities, and when the standard of the living increases, all these collectively is referred to as economic development. Okay, the statement seems to be very big, but it is very simple. All right, guys, great. Yeah, guys, do let me know if you guys are able to understand it or not. And one more thing, my dear students, if you come across any questions, do let me know in the comment section, because after every chapter we conduct a doubt plus Menti quiz. So in that doubt wala part, we take all the doubts whichever, like if you have commented down, if you have any questions, you will comment it down. We will take all the doubts and I will try to solve all the queries at the last session. So in the last session, I purposely take a special doubt session wherein if you have any queries in this entire chapter, so I will take all your queries and I will solve all the queries in the last session. So make sure that if you have any queries related to the chapter of development, if in this session, if you have any queries, make sure that you please let me know in the comment section. All right. Now, I know guys, you are able to understand everything. But yes, sometimes it happens that you come across some questions and you want an immediate solution of that. So guys, if you want an immediate solution, we are there to help you. Like let's take an example. I'm going to take a doubt plus Menti session as the last session. Once I complete this chapter, entire chapter, I will take an extra session of doubts and Menti session. But it's like your doubt will be catered at the end of the chapter. And if you want that your doubts should be solved during the session, so I want you guys to listen to me very, very carefully. Guys, you can enroll to Vedantu. You can enroll to our long-term batches, those live sessions, wherein all your doubts are catered during the session. If you have any doubt at that moment, we will solve that query, particularly in that particular minute. Yes. So before I tell you about the features of Vedantu, let me tell you guys, we are giving you a promise. Guys, Vedantu is giving you a promise, and the promise which we are giving you, this promise you will never get from any of the offline institute or from any of the online institute except Vedantu. You join any of your local classes or if you join any of the online institute except Vedantu, no one will give you this promise, the promise which we are giving you. So before I tell you about the promise, let me tell you guys about the features of Vedantu. If you join Vedantu, what are the benefits? First of all, here you can have an access to unlimited live classes. You can attend unlimited live classes, not the recording one, unlimited live classes. And while doing so, you can attend high level quizzes and many quizzes you can attend. Here you guys keep on saying me in the live chat ki sir, Menti quiz, Menti quiz, Menti quiz. Over there in every session, in every subject, there are 4 to 5 different Menti quizzes which takes place in every session, in every lecture, after every 10 minutes. Yes. And while doing so, you actually are competing with the students throughout the world. Guys, it is very simple because students in Vedantu are not only from India, they are from different countries as well. So just look at your competition. Not only this, you can watch the replays. So if you miss out the session due to any reason, due to poor connectivity, due to family function, or due to any reason, if you miss out the session, you can watch the replays. And those replays are basically interactive replays. What are interactive replays? It is basically, if you miss out the session, you can still participate in the quizzes, and you can watch the replays n number of times. N number of times, one time, 100 times, 1000 times, n number of times you can watch the replays. Next, you can also even download the notes which are written by the master teachers. All the notes are given to you. So the problem of notes is also solved. Not only this, class doubt solving. So in class doubt solving is very simple. If you have any queries, at that very moment, the doubt is solved. What else you want? Regular tests are taken. Assignments are given to you. Not only this, you have an access to the micro courses and crash courses which are absolutely free for you. So basically, you can attend micro courses and crash courses. So this is going to be absolutely free for you, and you can attend unlimited. So the students who are actually paying for these micro courses, you are getting all these micro courses absolutely free for you if you take our long-term batches. So it's very simple, guys, how to take all these advantages. There is a link which is there in the description box, and you will also find as a first comment. Just click on that link. You will be redirected to our website, and you can find different plans. And one more thing, I'm going to give you a coupon code as AD Pro. AD Pro. A for Ananya, D for Dutt. AD Pro. If you apply this coupon code, you will get additional 10% discount. Yes, whatever benefits I said you. We have got all these benefits in Pro Lite subscription. And one of the most amazing part, the plans which you can see, Pro Lite, Pro Classic or Pro Plus subscription, every plan has their own advantage. And every plan is available in 1 month also. So you can try it for 1 month. I would suggest you, my personal suggestion would be try it for a month. Once you try it for a month, you will come to know the advantages of Vedantu. Obviously, guys, you can directly enroll to our long-term batches by taking 1 year subscription. But yes, you can also try it for 1 month. And in every plan, we have got an option of EMI also. That's it. Guys, what is the difference between these three plans? Let me tell you. Whatever benefits I said you, all these benefits are available in Pro Lite. If you take Pro Classic, you will get a doubts app. What is doubts app? So means before the session or after the session, whenever you come across any queries, you can ask your doubts over there also. So post class also you can ask your doubts. That is available in Pro Classic. This is also available in 1 month. And then we have got Pro Plus. In Pro Plus, you will get a personal mentor. So that will be a dedicated person mentor which will be given to you, who will help you with all your academic related problems, will help you with all your assignments and everything. Everything is available in 1 month, guys. Make sure that at least you try it for a month. And this is my guarantee. You will find an improvement. So guys, end of the day, what I say, whatever plans you take, whichever plan you take, the money which you are giving to Vedantu actually comes down to zero. How? You will be like, sir, we have paid money. How it is coming down to zero? Because you are getting an access to unlimited micro courses. And when you divide any number with unlimited number of lectures, unlimited number of sessions, it is going to be zero, right? Simple as that. So guys, our batches are already started. By the way, what promise we are giving you? As I told you earlier that this promise will never be given to you by any of the online or offline institute. The promise which we are giving you is, if you feel there has been no progress, we will return your fees back. Yes, you have heard it right. If you feel there has been no progress, we will return your fees back, complete fees back. And that is a promise we are giving you without asking any question. Right? Okay. So, guys, it's very simple. We are just expecting some commitment from your end. Like you have to attend minimum 75% of the classes and minimum 75% of the assigned test should be completed. After giving us such commitment, in case the performance improvement is not as per your expectations, guys, If the performance is not as per your expectations, we will return your fees back without asking any question. And this is a promise Vedantu is giving you. Guys, classes are already started. Okay, you can join these batches. I am personally teaching in all these batches. So if you want to learn from me, make sure that you enroll to these batches. And once you enroll to my batches, you are automatically enrolled to the other subjects as well. All right. So guys, chalo continue karte hain with our topic. The next one, guys, on our screen is HDI, Human Development Index. HDI, Human Development Index. Now, what is Human Development Index? Guys, it is a criteria through which we compare countries. Simple as that. It is a criteria through which we compare countries. Now, which are the criteria which are taken into consideration while comparing countries? Like before I explain you this, let me give you one simple example. Like let's say there are two students scoring same marks. Okay. And if I want to give Student of the Year award to one of the student, but both of the students got the same number of marks, same number of percentage, or same CGPA, then which criteria I will be considering to consider one student as a student of the year? In that case, I will consider many factors. In a similar way, there was a time when countries were considered compared only on the basis of income, only basis on the basis of economy. The countries whose income is going to be more, that is highly developed. The countries whose income is less, that is less developed. But later on, we came to a conclusion that we understood that income is not the only criteria through which we need to compare countries. We need to compare countries on the basis of other criteria also. So, my dear students, there are three criteria which are taken into consideration: life expectancy, education, and per capita income. Based on these three criteria, the countries are compared and the countries are ranked. All right. So, what is life expectancy? What is education? What is per capita income? What is the ranking of India? Which country ranks first in the world? Everything I will be telling you in the coming sessions. All right. Next one, infant mortality rate. Guys, what is infant mortality rate? The number of children that die before the age of 1 year, as per 1,000 live births in 1 year. What do we understand from this? Let's take an example. There are 1,000 babies. Okay. Let's take an example. There are 1,000 babies born in year 2019. 1,000 babies born in 2019. Okay. Out of these 1,000 babies, 28 babies died within 1 year. That is known as infant mortality rate. And this is the infant mortality rate of India as per 2019. So out of those 1,000 babies, 28 babies died within 1 year. So that is infant mortality rate. That is what we will be discussing in the coming sessions as well. More about infant mortality rate. Next one. What is national development? Guys, national development means an increase in the per capita income and also self-sufficiency of the economy. When the per capita income of the people increases and when the country becomes self-sufficient. Guys, what is the meaning of self-sufficient? Less dependent upon other countries. By the way, guys, let me tell you one fact, fun fact. No country can be self-sufficient. Yes, we can be less dependent or more dependent upon other countries, but no country can be self-sufficient. It is not possible, guys. So, what is national development? When the per capita income increases and the country becomes self-sufficient or less dependent upon other countries, that comes under national development. All right. Next, what is sustainable development, guys? I hope you are making a note of everything. Okay, pause the video and make a note of everything. What is sustainable economic development? Sustainable economic development is a process of economic development which aims to maintain the quality of life of both the present and the future generation without harming natural resources and environment. Let me make it very simple. What is sustainable economic development? Development should happen in present, but it should not compromise the needs of the future generation. Development in the present should not compromise the development for the people in the near future. Simple as that. And while doing so, we need to keep in mind that our environment is not harmed in this process, or it is less harmed. So simple, what is sustainable economic development? Development in the present should not harm the development or should not compromise the needs of the future generation. And while doing so, we need to keep in mind that our environment is also protected. That is sustainable economic development. Okay? Next, literacy rate. Proportion of literate population in 7 and above age group. A person who can read and write in any one language above the age of 7. A person who can read and write above the age of 7, that person is referred to as a literate person. Simple as that. Next, non-economic activity. Very simple, guys. Do you remember I said you guys initially about the economic activities? So similarly, we have got non-economic activities, the activities through which we do not earn money. Like for example, if I say my hobby is singing, by the way, it is not. Okay. Oh my God. So let's take an example, guys. My hobby is to sing. So I'm not earning any money. Okay, like in my free time, I'm playing guitar, I sing, I dance in my free time. So that comes under non-economic activities. These are just examples. So the activities through which we do not earn money, those activities are considered as non-economic activities. All right. Next, what is national income? Like we have got some individual income which is known as per capita income. In a similar way, there is an income which is earned by the country also. All right, so that is known as national income. Like working with Vedantu, I am earning income. That is my personal income. Okay, in a similar way, country is also earning some money. That comes under national income. So what is national income? It is the sum total of all the final goods and services produced in a country during a given period of time plus the net factor income from abroad. Bouncer gaya? Let me make it simple. So guys, what is national income? Guys, whatever products are made in India, their final value is summed up and that is what is national income. Let me give you an example. This AC remote, that AC, my mobile, my stylus, my laptop, my specs, uh, 30 rupees wala jhumka of Shilpi ma'am. I hope you guys are getting it. So the sum total of all the final goods, whatever goods are produced in a country, their value, okay, like this is product number one, product number two, plus product number three. Whatever their value is, the sum of all the products, the sum of all the value of all the products which are manufactured in the country, plus whatever income the country earns from abroad. Like many things we export to other countries, we get foreign exchange. All these things comes under national income. Are you guys getting it? So whatever products are made in our country, what is their value? Okay, that value plus the money which country earns by trading with other countries, that comes under national income. Like I'm working with Vedantu, it is giving rise to an individual income. In a similar way, country also earns some income that is known as national income. And from national income, we come to the concept of per capita income. But before I tell you about the per capita income, before that, let me explain you what is net attendance ratio. All right. So, bacho, what is net attendance ratio? Total number of children of age group between 6 to 10, the total number of children between the age group of 6 to 10 attending school as percentage of the total number of children in the same age group. So, let's take an example. If I tell you there are 100 children between the age group of 6 to 10 and only 70 students are attending the school. So this 70 comes under net attendance ratio. This is just an example I am giving you. All right. So if there are 100 children between the age group of 6 to 10 and only 70 are going to schools, so that comes under net attendance ratio. Guys, tension bilkul bhi mat lena because everything I am going to deal in detail in the coming sessions. Next, and the last one, that is per capita income. Guys, per capita income, I already told you that is average income of a person of a country. average income of a person in a country is known as per capita income. Now you will wonder, sir, how it is calculated. Yes, the calculation is very simple. Total income of a country is divided by the total population. So the national income of a country is divided by the total population. Simple, you will get per capita income. Okay, let me give you one example. The per capita income of India, according to 2016, was 1680 US dollars. So that is an average income of an Indian. So you can convert it into rupee and you will get the number in rupees. So that is an average income of Indian, annual income of a person in India on an average according to 2016. So how it is calculated? The total income of a country is divided by the total population, and you will get the per capita income. Let me tell you guys, the per capita income of India is very less. We will deal with all these topics in the coming sessions. My dear students, I hope you made a note of everything, because that is very, very important, because all these terms will help you in the coming sessions. Okay. Make sure that if you guys are not a part of our long-term batches, if you guys have not tried Vedantu yet, make sure that you guys are enrolling to our sessions. You guys are subscribing to our sessions. Okay. The link is there in the description box and also in the comment section. The link is already guys given to you. You can also apply my coupon code as ADPRO to get additional 10% discount. Okay. Guys, do not forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, make sure that you guys are letting me know in the comment section. Okay. Thank you so much, friends, for attending my session. I hope you had a great time with me. I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take very, very good care of yourself. Bye bye. Take care.